welcome to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. There seems to be a lot of hype around purpose-based businesses. Basically, they operate with a deeper sense of meaning than just focusing on generating profits. Today's episode will also discuss the unique challenges that women in mining face, and we'll find out how the industry has surprised our guest. And when you think about it, what does Alice in Wonderland have to do with all of this? Today, Heather Gamble is Chief Executive Officer of the Artemis Project and winner of the Change Maker Award. She's here to tell us about accidental lessons of a purpose-based business owner. Heather, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thank you so much, Liz, for having me. I really, really love the opportunity.
Yeah, I do as well, because this is wonderful. You are here to talk to us about purpose-based businesses. There's a lot of hype around them right now. What do you define as purpose-based business?
Yeah, it's such a good question. I just think about the first time that I felt that I came across someone that was doing something other than or above and beyond profit at all costs. And that was Anita Roddick, The Body Shop. And I
Yes.
remember reading about her and imagining, oh my gosh, she's just approaching business with this very common sense approach, reusing materials and bottles. And I just, the more I got into it, I thought, isn't that amazing to be able to take a business and use it for social good? So
And
very loosely defined, purpose-based business to me is a higher purpose, what you said, beyond profit. There's many different structures of what that looks like today, but that's in essence what it is.
so other than Anita Roddick, because she was, one of the pioneers, how did you get interested in purpose-based businesses?
Oh, it was really cool. So I researched about her, and then I ran across this organization called B Corps. And today they're very widely known and prevalent around the world. However, at that time, it wasn't. Patagonia was one of the first companies. And so I was just, I don't know what it was, enchanted with their stories. Ben and Jerry's was one of the first. So ice cream. I mean, if you can have ice cream, with a purpose behind it. And so it just seemed that there was so much you could do in addition to profit with your business. So I'm very attracted to that proposition.
So for you personally, what was the first
Mhm.
purpose-based business and how did you get
Mm.
started in it?
So I have to say the very first one was this crazy notion I had to open a business accelerator for women entrepreneurs. And that was in 2014. It was the first one in Canada. And I just felt I'm doing this with absolutely, I had a financial model, but it wasn't one that was showing there was lots of profit. However, it was one that I just felt so committed to. And I wanted women to have the space and the place to be free and to be the entrepreneurs that they really wanted to be. So that was the very first foray into purpose-based business.
So this is exciting and novel. What were the personal and professional struggles and learnings and experiences when you created this?
Yeah, so I still had a little bit of that control freak mentality,
It's a
and
curse.
and thought that a little bit you governed by oversight in that way. And what I learned was just an unbelievable journey of all these incredible women entrepreneurs, and showing me really how to get into flow, how to ease into your business, how to find peace in your business, and really working together and collaboratively to gain a much stronger business advantage. And I never, ever would have imagined.
These incredible experiences are they mold us. They're very educational. They have these aha moments, and they actually do change our lives, and they do change the way that we feel about certain industries, the way we personally run our businesses, and the way we personally run ourselves as well. Because
Mhm.
quite frankly, if you look at us as individuals, we really are a corporation, whether we fail, whether we don't. I mean, it's like running a corporation. So when we come back from this commercial break, I want you to share some of the highlights from the Women on the Move. because I know that it'll be riveting for a lot of people. So please don't go away. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. We're talking about accidental lessons of a purpose-based business owner. So Heather, let's talk about it. Please share some of the women on the move highlights for us.
There were so many. It became like this portal, or that's what I felt, that it was attracting women in all stages, phases of their businesses that, from doulas on bicycles to gals that were doing high-end consulting. And what I mean by high-end is in corporate complex consulting and everything in between. So what was really fascinating was there's real commonalities. And some of the commonalities, certainly with respect to entrepreneurship, was the fact that it can be a very isolating and independent venture. So it was almost 99% of the women were looking for some camaraderie, someone to share, someone to have laughs with, someone to share the tough times with. And it was just an unbelievable environment to see how, and again, it was just for women, so that's our experience, but the women come together and support one another in those really meaningful networks.
That's why I think it's really important to surround ourselves with really incredible women because, Heather, let's face it, I don't know everything. You don't know everything. But if there's something that I need to know, I'm going to give you a call. I'm going to reach out to you. And you're going to do the same on your side as well. And, that's how we met. We had a common friend who said, I think the two of you should meet and talk. So let's take this further. Take us from operating Canada's first business accelerator for women to now your current work in mining, because it's quite the leap and it's an unusual leap.
Yes, unusual, unconventional, and one I never would have imagined in 10 million years. And so, throughout our history at Women on the Move, our business accelerator, we had all kinds of courses and workshops and coaching and programs available to really help women aspire to reach their first million in revenue. Less than 1% of women-owned businesses in Canada reach $1 million in revenue. And I just thought, that's crazy. We just need a little bit, come together, gives a little bit of training, capacity building, and they'll be off soaring. So one of the gals that was very successful reaching the milestone, and we worked very close together, was a woman-owned business in mining. And so I'll never forget being connected with her. I received a phone call from a friend, like you said, Liz, and the friend said, there is this woman entrepreneur. She's an engineer. She speaks 4 languages. She wants help in opening up her office in Santiago, Chile. And he said, I think you're good. You would be good together. And I said, well, I speak 1 language. I'm here in Toronto, High Park. I don't know a thing about mining. And this is where the Alice in Wonderland part comes. I said, yes. Sounds perfect.
Can I just say that is incredible because I do the same. I say yes. And then I think, oh my goodness, what have I just done? Oh, I've got to make it happen. And I think too many times as women, we look at the big picture and think, no, I'm not qualified for this. I'm not the right person for this. But you know what? Like 99% of the time, we are more than qualified and we are the perfect person for that position.
Yeah, right on. I feel, if it's come to you and it feels even semi right, go for it. And that's what's exciting, certainly from my perspective. I love to be on the edge. I like to be doing new things that I've never done before. I mean, mining was a very new thing. And as a result, we did amazing work together. And so not just work together for the two of us in our organizations, we now have a systemic company called Artemis Project that empowers over 100 different women-owned businesses in mining and bringing them up to very senior levels and selling their services in the supply chain. So really making a difference for their business so they can get to that 1 million in revenue.
Okay, so I love that. When we come back from commercial
Mm.
break, we're going to talk about the Artemis project and basically what it's about. And I don't know if you need new members or how you become a member, but I think one of the things that we need to mention as well is it's okay to fail. When you take on a
Mm.
new project, it is okay to fail because that failure builds upon our foundation for success. So it is okay to fail. We're not perfect because there's no such thing. And don't go away. We will be right back and hear about this incredible new project. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. We're talking about accidental lessons of a purpose based business owner. So, Heather, before we went to break, we were talking about the Artemis project. What moves you most about the Artemis project? What is it, and how do people get involved?
I think it's well, certainly a great organization to really lift in a systemic way, in a sustainable way, making true change for these women-owned businesses in mining. And so generally they're a collective of women entrepreneurs who are engineers or technologists or geologists who've uncovered a gap and started their own business. So we're always looking to bring on board more Artemis members. So if there's any women that happen to hear us and they have solutions, sometimes many times they might be selling oil and gas, like a tangential industry, and we welcome them to investigate Artemis. But really what it is, it's how these incredible women, when they get together, they serve these solutions and come up with services that are just full of innovation and full of course sustainability, and they all have purpose beyond profit, every single member.
Well, what a way of giving back. So,
Mm,
what learnings has Artemis bestowed upon you?
mm, so many. And when you say failings, I think I don't know about failings as so much as learnings. Every single day we have learnings. We're learning new things in new ways. We're going into new geographies, to new territories, and really building more capacity. So learning, though, personally, is really say yes, even though you don't have all the pieces together. You know that if the opportunities come along, it's come along probably for a reason you may not know right now, but that's okay. Just jump into it, pull your resources together, and just go for it and really work on work that you just love.
And I think that's important that you just said work on projects
Mm,
that you just love. We
mm,
have so much passion within us, whether we know it or not. Some people
mm.
have that passion just, bubbling underneath and not really hasn't come out yet. But we all have some sort of a passion. And doing something that you love is very important because that'll take you to that next level and it'll make you successful.
Yeah, right on, Liz. One of the things we do at Artemis is completely organically, we come up with a program that brings in young female mining engineers from Chile, Peru, Venezuela, and Colombia. Generally, those are very highly dominated male industries and that society. So the gals have a very difficult time getting their first jobs. So when we heard this, we thought, we'll bring them to Canada, we'll teach them English, and we'll get them jobs. And we've placed over a dozen such young individuals, and we need them in our industry in Canada. So just as an example of, you never know what problems you're going to come across, and then what you can put together.
Yeah, very, very true. So, you
Mhm.
never know. You just said you never know, but in the beginning of the show, I talked about how the mining industry surprised you with
Mm.
what surprises came out of it. So, could you please share that for us?
Mining, certainly in Canada, is the number one employer for our Indigenous. Never knew that. Mining can truly facilitate incredible outcomes, especially for our women, our Indigenous women, and especially providing economic and social opportunities that no other industry can do that. So that's number one. Number two, everything you and I and everybody else in society enjoys, consumes, 99% of it comes from the ground. It's mined. It's the most important industry in that if it does not come out of the ground in a sustainable way, nothing is sustainable. And mining often gets this, a bad reputation. It's this dirty industry. It's this heavy equipment industry. Well, it is an industry. There's lots of heavy equipment. There's lots of brand new technology. And like I said, we could not have the life that we have today without it. So it's critical. And I just love to see women play more of a role in such a critical industry.
Heather, we've got 15 seconds left. Where does Artemis go from here?
Oh, Artemis just goes wherever the problems are, and we want to band together and go attack them. So our next thing is we're going to Greece.
Oh, okay. So hold that thought, because when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to talk about going to Greece and seeing what's in store for Heather. So please don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski. Heather Gamble is Chief Executive Officer of the Artemis Project. She's here to tell us about accidental lessons of a purpose-based business owner. And before we went to break, we were talking about Artemis. The next project is going to Greece. Tell us about it.
So part of our role is to really help, obviously, looking at our clients, the mid to large tier mining companies. And so one of them has a very, very large project in Greece, a significant portion of their whole company. And so they're very deep partner with us. And that's an example of when we look at expansion, where we go is to really solidify and help our mining companies so that we can put up a chapter of Artemis chapter in Greece, and then bring more women entrepreneurs from Greece into the opportunities that present themselves in mining. So that's really exciting, because then when I think of mining, it's not too often that you have a mining jurisdiction that is also beside a beautiful beach.
So I know why I created Empowered, to give women a voice, to help our future leaders grow, to help educate women and introduce women in power to other people, just to help change mindset. Why have you focused on women in your most recent ventures?
Yeah, it's such a good question. I never really thought about, just started doing it. And I guess it probably stems from the fact that I do believe I want women remain underrepresented, especially in male dominated industries. And it's time. We don't need to wait. McKinsey says we have another 100 years to wait for equality, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And so it's insane. And so I think
agreed.
the more we can help these women, especially in male dominated industries, then they can affect change. And certainly in mining is going through a big change, and it is going and moving into an industry for good, beyond profit at all cost. And I think, the women are leading that change. So the quicker they can do that, the better, I believe, for all of us.
Yeah, hear, hear. And so, what
Hmm.
do you say to women who want to consider a purpose-based business?
Oh, I think it's awesome. Just go for it. Don't listen to what anyone says, and you have to be set up as a nonprofit. You can be a B Corp, you can be a social enterprise, whatever you want to roll with. And I think it really fills out so many purposes, or so many possibilities within a business. And like you said in the beginning, Liz, your business is part of you. You know how you want to contribute and give back and grow and what you want to do. And I think it's only natural to be able to see that business as more than a money making machine, and it's a lot more fun and rewarding.
And I think that's the key, that it's rewarding. So, can you give one word that best describes your outlook and how it differs from years past?
Mm, definitely. I think I mentioned earlier, I certainly was a control freak. I thought you had to control things, right? That was just the era we grew up in. And anyhow, now I realize you got to let go.
Yep.
completely let go, live in the now. I know we've heard that a million times, especially since Eckhart Tolle and Oprah brought it to our attention, 15 years ago. But it is so incredibly true to be open to what's right in front of us, say yes, even though you don't have all the pieces put together, and go on the journey and let it unfold.
So we have just a little bit more time left. Lastly, what do you think is needed
Mhm.
to truly optimize the power of women in the immediate future?
Well, I'm probably biased because of my age and 62, and I want to see change. And I'm a little impatient. I would love nothing more than for women to get on a rail car, go across this country, stop at as many places as possible, and collectively get together and decide how they want to make change. I have a bias that says I would love to see them put a political initiative together and lead us to change.
I love that, Heather.
Mm.
Lead us to change. Thank you so much for
Mhm.
being here today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, Liz. And thank you for all the incredible work you do.
Thank you. Heather says, be Alice, as in Wonderland. Embrace the uncertain, say yes, go with the flow, and dance like a dervish along the way. I'm Elizabeth Naumovski, and I'm here to empower you and make frugality fashionable. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.